Hello everyone, this is Jeffrey with the Desert Inkwell. Welcome back. I am laughing because I had some technical issues. I recorded this video a little bit earlier this morning using Apple's cinematic mode. Not knowing that then it was going to have to process a mask, to blur around me for every frame on a 4K video. So here we are back again, re-recording it. So take two. We'll see how this goes. Let's get to it. All right. Alrighty, folks. We're back with the top-down view and a new backdrop. I hope you enjoy it. I get ink and stuff all over these, so I change them often. The first thing I want to cover is this Spencerian system of practical penmanship. We covered this before. I mistakenly said there were like 8 workbooks, and the main book literally said 7 on the cover, so sorry about that. I'm still on book 1. I do enjoy doing it. It's super meditative, and like you hit a certain point on the page where you just get your flow, and then like the bottom half of the page goes pretty quickly. I enjoy, even enjoying different inks. Sometimes I get bored, and so I switch, Anyway, this is a great way to try different nibs, try different inks, and improve your handwriting. If your handwriting is rough, is that a nice way to say it? Yes, so this, again, $25-ish on Amazon. I've been super pleased with this purchase. We're going to get into the pens in just a moment, but this is a leather 12-pen holder I got received as a gift during the Secret Santa exchange on the fountain pen community in Reddit. It was a lot of fun. I hope to do it again this year. This was a very generous and kind gift. The past week, though, I've been keeping my pens in this Rickshaw Deluxe pen roll. This holds 6 pens. Sorry for any dust or dog hair. I just want to point it out because I love it so much. For me, as I keep saying, fountain pens have a meditative quality to them. It's a slowing down. And just unrolling this and then seeing your pens nicely in front of you has been really enjoyable. I did drop this roll with 6 pens in it, and they were all fine. So let's get to it. I don't have an overhead light on, and these are totally out of order now. Shoot. Well, it is what it is, right? This is not rocket science or neurosurgery. This is my collection of Esterbrook Esties. These are by far, I think non-committally, my favorite pens. They're super comfortable. They fit in my hand really well. They're fun to collect. They're not too expensive. They're a little pricey for what they are, but that's okay. That's okay. So the purpose of today's video is to share with you where I am in my fountain pen adventures. And that's nibs. I'm really focused on nibs at the moment. Buying different ones, trying different ones. I haven't gotten into the super advanced nibs yet, but there's double stacked nibs and all sorts of things. It's allergy season here in Arizona, so if you hear me sniffle a little, I am suffering the effects of pollen. I had a viewer who is very communicative on what they like to see, asked me to move the pens closer to the screen, and thusly here they are. This is the Esterbrook Estie Scarlet, which is a red cracked resin or a scarlet cracked resin with some blue accents. The nib in this pen today is a broad nib, and we're going to do a writing sample with each one, and then we'll discuss which ones I like the best, which nibs. I like all the pens. So let's see, Scarlet. This is Ferris Wheel Press. I'm just going to abbreviate some of these. And this ink is called Song of Scarlet. And this is a broad nib. I like broad nibs for headers or drawing with or cards. I don't generally like them for writing. It's too wide of a line. It's just not my jam. I know some people are into broad nibs. That is not me. I tried it for a little bit and I just didn't work out. So I have some, I use them, but they're not my go-to nib. Next up is the Esterbrook Estie. Okay, they're all Esterbrook Esties, so I don't have to keep saying that. This color is called Pink Sands. This was limited release at some point with the silver trim. I don't know if the gold was limited or not. It predates my involvement in the fountain pen community. Even the nib on this pen is pink. And this is a medium nib. Good thing about Estes too is they post well, at least for me. This ink is Birmingham Pen Co. in the color Saltwater Taffy. This is a medium nib. My friend Carmen was so kind as to gift me a very generous sample of this ink. And I think it just goes really well with this pen. All right, what's next in the lineup? We have the Esterbrook Estie in Petrified Forest. It's like it's oranges, but it's a soft, it has a very soft appearance to it, and I like this a lot. Now, I'm trying to show different nibs and how they write, so you'll notice this pen has a silver trim and a gold nib, which kind of drives me crazy. And I just crammed all of these nibs on pens so that I could show them to you today. Petrified Forest. And this is, again, Birmingham Pen Co. Monarch. And this is a fine italic nib. I am... Ooh! I just dropped it. I am in love with this nib. All of these nibs are kind of write in a different way. I'm noticing the continuum, the thread that goes through them that I like is that it looks like writing that is vintage to me. I don't know if you can have vintage writing, but, you know, I'm really more of a Downton Abbey, Call the Midwife, Cable Girls, movies and TV shows from a different era. And the writing style was different. The handwriting was different. And that's what I prefer. So, okay. Next pen is the Honeycomb. Hope these are in focus. It's kind of hard to see up over the top of the camera. Honeycomb. And... oh. I feel like there's something up with this ink, but this is Diamine. Caramel. Sparkle. And this nib is one of my top 2 favorite nibs. It is a medium. See, I don't know how you were all right like that, but medium italic nib. This is probably up there in my top 3 nibs. This ink looks funny though, and I'm wondering if when I cleaned this, if I didn't dry it out completely, because this is normally a richer colored ink, but maybe no? Maybe no? Who knows? Okay. On to my only oversized Estie in the material Rocky Top, which is a diamond cast resin. So that little sparkle, I don't know if you can see it, is little diamond dust. This pen suffered an injury under my care. I dropped the pen and the cap cracked somewhere. I repaired it from the inside with UV glue, like a UV resin glue, but I try not to post it because I don't want to pop that split. I was very sad to have broken it. I love this blank. I love the material. You know, she weren't cheap. Rocky Top. And this ink is Wearing All. Anubis. It's a muted ink with some shimmer in it. I love it. This is a broad italic. I enjoy the broad italic more than just the broad because it has style. To me, over the broad, like that line variation is more exciting to me than that broad. That broad. Sorry. Okay, next up is the Sea Glass. I received this as a birthday gift last year from my team. It was my very first Estie. I love it. I didn't love it at first, if I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't find an ink that matched the pen. And I do have a tendency to run on the matchy-matchy side. I'm working on it. It's a process. And then I eventually put Celadon Cat in here, and it was a perfect match. Now, ironically, I don't have that in there today. I have... I have a ton of ink. But I was trying some different colors. This is Ferris Wheel Press. The Ribboning Pond, and this is a medium nib. That's kind of my standard go-to usual nib is a medium. So why don't I have Celadon Cat in here? I was trying Ferris Wheel Press Brilliant Beanstalk, which is a light green with a gold shimmer in it. And it's a beautiful ink, but it was a little too light out of the medium nib. And I thought, oh, I'll try the ribboning pond to pick up the little blue aspects of this pen color. So that's progress for me. But now I love this pen. Now I love this pen. And sorry for the ums. I don't enjoy editing the portion of the video, so you get what you get. At this point, we're just here to have a fun chat. This is the Esterbrook Estie in Evergreen. Hope that's in focus. And a pen friend helped me locate this because they don't sell them anymore. And so this is the Evergreen, and if you know me, you know that if it's orange or green, I'm there for it. This is a fine nib again, and this is wearing on for whom the bell tolls. They're not doing anything to shorten these ink names, are they? This sample I received from Charmaine. I love it. I know it's a teal, but it looks great in there, and it looks great on a fine nib. I gravitate towards darker inks with fine nibs. Maybe everybody does, and I'm not unique that way, but that's what I do. Next one. Lilac. So why did I buy the Lilac? FOMO. I was afraid if I didn't buy it, I would want it later, and then it would be hard to find, and yada yada yada. So it was just easier to get it when it came out. I'm not much of a purple fan, or wasn't when I bought this. And my bestie sister said, why are you buying purple? And I said, well, because I don't like that I don't like purple. I feel like you shouldn't not like a color. So I bought it, and I've been using different nibs and different purple inks, and have really grown to appreciate the color more. This ink is Diamine Rainbow's End. And this is an extra fine. And I think it's elastic, is what they call it. I received this extra fine nib, and not sure I would have bought one, but I'm glad I own it. I got that nib when I bought this Esterbrook Estie in Nouveau Blue from Kenshin Crafts, and it had that nib in there, and I tried it with some dark blue ink, and let me tell you, that pen did not leave my side for a long time. That was a really fantastic combo, and I don't know how to spell Nouveau. Spelling is not my thing, so I will just... Okay. And I think it's French, so Nouveau Bleu. Okay, this ink is Mon Blanc. Midnight Blue. And this is an Architect nib, so named because the narrow downstroke and the wider or broader side stroke is used by interior designers, architects, etc. In fact, when I was in taking some interior design classes, we had to practice this writing over and over and over, like whole sheets of alphabets. I love this nib. This nib is my current favorite nib. You can see this. Let me put my hand there. There we go. Oh yeah, ignore the tape. That was a jewelry store disaster. I may have mentioned before they sized my ring and then turned it into an oval. Anyway, on to the nib. This is a two-tone Architect nib from Fountain Pen Revolution. This nib is $13 and it writes like a dream. So excited. I bought a couple before I told you where it was from, so you don't sell them out. The last Esterbrook that I purchased, and the last one for today, is the Winter White. I thought this would be great in the winter, and then winter was kind of over by the time I got it. So expect to see this more next year, but this is Winter White. And this ink is Colorverse. ASGR, which is a constellation or a star name. I don't know. Sorry. Know that I approach most things from an artistic standpoint and not scientific. So I'm going to lift this up just so you can see. We have the Scarlet in a broad, the Pink Sand, that's a medium nib, Petrified Forest in a fine italic, Honeycomb, Rocky Top, Sea Glass, Evergreen, Lilac, Nouveau Blue, Architect, and then the Winter White is, this is a broad italic, and I didn't mark that, did I? There we go. So I would say, really, let me line these up here. Karina Loves to Plan does that, and I always like that little portion of her videos when she does it. She puts the pen, she's very organized. I aspire to her level of planning. Yeah, maybe this will fit. Put them on an angle. We'll be okay. It's not neuroscience. There we go. Oh, that looks nice. I call these my adult crayons. Anyway, thanks for tuning in today. I have found renewed joy in different pens by swapping out the nib, and of course always swapping out the ink. But if you are a fountain pen collector or lover, you may know that there's a certain magic that happens when you get the right pen and the right nib and the right ink together. It like unlocks some Harry Potter level magic something or other, and it just becomes so much more of a wonderful experience to write with. So lastly, we'll switch back and I'll talk to you face to face. Okie dokie, folks. The last thing is, some of you may have noticed, I took a couple weeks off. It was just to reset and re-find my joy in what I was doing. I was finding that I was buying pens or inks to have content. And I have plenty of pens and I have plenty of inks, and it was off track for what I wanted to share with you. What I want to share with you is ways this hobby can be accessible. And sometimes I'm going to show more expensive pens, but I promise moving forward not to buy pens or inks specifically to do content. I'm going to stick to these very low edit or no edit videos because I feel like that's more authentic and that's where I want to meet you. I'll be at the DC Pen Show in August. If anyone's going, say hi if you see me. I'm like 7 feet tall and kind of old. So just look for the gray beard that's really tall. I look forward to seeing you if you're there. Have a great week and write someone a letter. Let them know you care. It makes a difference. I will see you next week. All right. Bye.